Welcome back to another episode of the Built to Grow podcast. I'm going to be your host today, Randy Angston, joined by none other than Zach Columbia.
It's me. I'm here.
You're there.
Thanks
it's
for
us
having
today.
me.
Yeah. As some of you guys know, Zach is a member of our coaching team here at ProFit. For today's episode, we kind of want to get into some of the things that we've changed recently with the way that we're going about our coaching side of the business, and just give you guys some information on how we've made it really easy to get started with us and why, and what you can expect, from being, I guess, in the coaching side of our business, what you can walk away with, and how it is we're helping gym owners truly get, a clear path to success.
Yeah.
Zach, why don't you just kind of take it back to, why we decided, what changes we've made, or, let's get into that a little bit, how we've taken our programs from the past. Those of you listening, we've had our Switch to semi-private program, and that was more foundational structure of your gym, the programming that you're delivering, the service that you provide, the model itself. Yep. And then from there, we had our Business Accelerator program. That was more the systems to scaling once you've had that foundational components and the model kind of locked in. But kind of just take us through, some of those changes.
Well, I think that the place to kind of start here is the iron circle.
Yeah, I would agree.
Right. So the iron circle is our mastermind. It's the elite of the elite gym owners. And you have to be at a certain minimum per month in revenue in order to be in that group and have access to the brain power that's there. And one thing that one major reason why we decided to kind of shift gears with our coaching a little bit is we wanted to give everybody the opportunity to have kind of that same iron circle feel, the same benefits that, would be, maybe a little bit lower level, the things that are going to get you to that iron circle level, but kind of in the same format. So it's almost, not to diminish it all, but it's kind of to think about it as like the iron circle is like the varsity, and then now we have the JV version of that.
I like that. Good way of looking at it.
And so, the iron circle, it's like you got all this brain power, these gym owners that are unsatisfied with the status quo and are continuing to just press the gas and level each other up.
Yep.
And then we bring all this education and these experts and industry outside the industry, new tools, resources, everything, so that we can continue to just like scale those businesses and go beyond just the gym business. The SpringBoard program, we had the accelerator. We had the Switch to semi. We've got all these other
tons of trainings and
so many trainings and different videos and everything. Our goal, if we're being honest, is somewhat selfish. It's to take the gym that has been in business, maybe for 10 years and hasn't been able to grow, hasn't been able to scale, and say, hey, we're going to take you from where you're at right now and then get you to the iron circle. So it's a little bit more, like you said, system oriented, it's model oriented, it's setting everything up so that your business runs more like a business system, a franchise almost.
Yeah.
It's everybody's got their own business. We're not like boxing you in or anything, but we're thinking of it that way, where it's like your business now is replicable, it's scalable, it will operate with or without you, and we're trying to get you to that level so then you can go pursue other things, or branch out or scale or open multiple locations, what have you. The way we used to do it is it was a little bit more time oriented.
Sure.
Right? It was like, here's your starting point, and you got the next 12 weeks to make all these changes, implement all these things. Now we have spaced it out, so there's really no deadline, which is, if you guys, I'm sitting in the seat every single day where I'm running the gym. It's very comforting to know, like, hey, I've got time to make these changes and implement these things, because if a coach, gets sick or goes on vacation, or you lose somebody, or, there are things that can pull you away from, 1 second you could be working on the business, the next second you could be working in the business,
sure.
When you're in that seat. And so this definitely is more comforting of like, hey, we're going to continue to move forward, but it doesn't have to be done in 8 weeks. It doesn't have to be done in 12 weeks. And there's no starting point or specific path that you have to go down, which is very cool because in like the Iron Circle, people are coming in at different, places. Maybe they have 2 locations, maybe they have 1, maybe they have 6, maybe they, or they have the gym and then they invest in real estate or what have you. This kind of works the same way now. It's not, you have to start here and it's a program we're going to take you through for 8 weeks. It's like you can come into it at any starting point and all of the material, all of the things that you need are there for resources. And then we're going to guide you to like, hey, here's where you're starting at. Here's what we're going to implement over the next, couple of weeks. And then here's the next step after that. So it's almost like a more, personalized.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, it's a little bit more customized to each individual gym as opposed to taking every member of the coaching side through, a structured linear, this is what we're working on this week when, like, for example, we used to discuss, sales process, in one of our coaching calls. Well, what if sales is the strong point in your business? Is that the thing that's helping you right now? This new approach, and to just kind of give some clarity on the changes that we've made, instead of an 8-week and a 12-week program or 20 weeks combined through the 2 programs, we've actually taken the same program, same material, all of the additional coaching resources or trainings, and then we've stretched out the coaching through an entire year. So you actually get 12 months of access to Tim, Zach, and myself, and the ProFit coaching team to accomplish those goals that you specifically have for your gym. What I love about it is, everything starts with a strategy call, and then that's our way of kind of customizing the approach for you as the individual gym owner, right? It's not so cookie cutter type of thing, right? We're not just working on certain aspects that everybody's globally working on. We can cater the resources that you have available to your specific needs, which I think, helps when it comes to not only increasing the things that you're working on the things you need in your business, but it gives you the ability to start to see a return as fast as possible in the areas that you specifically need. That's probably one of my favorite components of it, is more of that custom approach as opposed to a blanketed, program.
Yeah. And it's good. It's good and bad, right? Because if you, Lindsay Vestola,
sure.
Who's in the Iron Circle, she threw this example out in one of her trainings a few weeks ago, and it was really powerful. She's like, you could take the trainer who's super passionate, wants to help people, is an expert in their niche and training and all that, and they could open a training business, and then you could take somebody that absolutely cares nothing about helping people or fitness or anything like that, but they're really good at running a business. Mm-hmm. And who do you think is going to be successful? And it's going to be the person that knows the business side of things. And so, with like our accelerator, with our switch to semi, and really all of the different trainings that we do, they're kind of included in this. It's all about your business systems, right? Yes. It's all about creating a sustainable, profitable business that is less fragile.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
However, that we have people that haven't even opened a gym yet. Yep. We have people that have had a gym and been stuck at a certain level for 10 years.
10 years, yeah.
And everybody in between. And so there's certain foundational things that are like, hey, these need to be implemented. But again, everybody's kind of coming into it in a different spot. And so the tools and the systems and the foundation is all there and the same, but where we start and how we approach implementing these things will look a little bit different, right? Mm-hmm. Like if you're already running semi-private training, we might need to improve those systems. We might need to clean them up, make them a little bit more scalable, different than somebody that's running large group training and is like, hey, I need to adjust my model. Yeah. Or somebody that's running large group training is like, hey, I'm not necessarily, concerned about changing my model. That's not where I'm at right now. I want to add a new service, profit center, but also I need to adjust a few things to be able to scale, or I need to add automation. I need to add, more of a system around my marketing and, understand that process and how to put together, good quality ad copy and things that are going to attract
the clients,
my clients,
your ideal client.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And it's been, I mean, obviously we absolutely love it. I mean, everybody who's now part of that program, I think they're completely on board with the structure and how we're going about it. It still includes, like, to the point, it still includes all of the same trainings, the same beliefs, the same things that we've done this far. We just kind of manipulated how we're serving or how we're bringing it to the market, like to you guys, to be able to join the program, right?
Yeah.
And so, literally, I mean, we lowered the barrier for entry because we've taken the same cost that those two programs cost for 20 weeks, and we've stretched it out over the year.
Yeah.
So we, at the end of the day, it's just easier for gyms to enter the arena to get the coaching that they're looking for.
Yes. And it's one of those things where, like the barrier of entry, right?
Yeah.
So with all just use a kind of a parallel here where, for somebody that's coming in to start a training program, they're in a different place than we are as somebody that doesn't struggle with fitness.
Sure.
And so a lot of times it's a struggle for us to relate to that person or to have empathy for that person where, we might be like, yeah, you got to train, 4 days a week at 5 a.m. That person might not even be able to drink water, right? Like they can't, they're like, the water's disgusting. I can't drink it. And we're in two totally different places, with our coaching program. Yeah. I mean, our Business Accelerator is $15,000, to come in. And we would break that into 3 payments, we're sitting in it's just a different perspective in our business. For us, we would be like, hey, that's no big deal.
Correct.
Like we're just going to, fork over that money. We're going to get the benefit. We're going to do the program. But for a lot of gym owners out there, we basically said, hey, we don't have anything for you because they can afford it if we break it into, over the course of 12 months for them. But, the barrier of entry was too high. They're like, hey, I'm running on, a lot tighter margins here. And so, for them to be able to get started and actually work with us, we made it accessible for somebody. So, some of that, I think we can take responsibility for it and just say like, we weren't necessarily thinking about the struggling gym owner, or even not struggling, but just in a place in their business where it's like, hey, I'm making ends meet, but there's not a lot left over, for me to be able to then move my business to the next level. So now we've made it accessible for everybody.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, we've made, like you said, the barrier for entry is we've dropped that entirely. I also love the idea or love the fact that we have a lot more time with these gym owners. A year is a lot of time together. And it does grant us the opportunity to get a hell of a lot done together in the needs of, in each of those businesses, rather than, trying to slam everything, happens overnight. Yeah. There are so many variables of business that that happen. To your point, maybe half of that time was dedicated to the time in the business rather than working on the business. So made it super simple. One of the easiest way I always think about coaching is you take everything off the table. You're paying for the knowledge of what it took for us to figure it out,
for us to mess everything.
Yeah, exactly.
First.
We've screwed up.
You're paying for the mistakes the mistakes we've made and the lessons we've learned.
Correct. But I mean, at the end of the day, right, when we look at the business that we have today here at Legacy and what it takes to make this business operational and what it does in return and profitability, systemization, ease of doing business, all of that stuff considered, you guys, those that jump into the SpringBoard, you kind of get the end result day one, as opposed to having to make those mistakes and spend the money that it does cost in order to figure out that it's not the best way to go about your business.
Well, this is a hard business. You make the wrong mistake and you're out of business.
There you go.
So it is, It's just the reality of it. I mean, guys, we're in a business that, you know, most people look at as a luxury. You know, they're like, hey, my health is, you know, not top priority for me. It's a nice to have.
Sure.
Now, we disagree with that, but we're not the majority,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And so, yeah, you could mess, you know, one thing up and you could lose 20 clients and now you can't, you know, pay your lease on your, you know, for your gym and you're in real trouble. So, you don't want to make you want to learn from other people's mistakes for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they say what's that old saying, right? Like learning from your mistakes is great, but learning from the mistakes of others is even better.
A lot more profitable.
Yeah,
sure.
Heck yeah, right? Yeah. And obviously, you know, everything obviously has a cost. I mean, what you're getting with the SpringBoard, I think, is extremely valuable in comparison to the return that you have at your fingertips. And we look at this business much like you as the gym owner are looking at your training opportunity, right? You're confident in your clients' results because you know if they follow the plan, if they show up, if they do the work, they're going to get a result. That's how we look at the training side or the coaching side of our business as well. And as long as you as a gym owner are diligent, you're showing up for the calls, you're implementing the suggestions, and you're following the lead from the things that we've shown, the results are right there.
Yeah.
You know, and time again, the goal is to get you up into that iron circle so that you have the next, you know, your future laid out beyond just the four walls of that business. In order to get there, we need to create a systemized, sustainable, scalable business that runs on systems.
Yeah. We're not going to do the work for you.
No.
We're going to hold your hand and teach you how to do it. Yeah.
So we just want to give you guys a glimpse into some of the changes that we've made, obviously, on the coaching side of the business, introduce the SpringBoard to those of you who haven't heard about it yet. If you're interested, there's a link in the show notes. Book a call. You will speak with me directly. We'll troubleshoot, you know, where the business is today. You know, I'll obviously introduce what is available as part of this program. We've got some bonuses and some, you know, other things that we'll discuss on the call. But we'll break it down for you. At the end of the day, my goal is to provide you with the information for you to make the right decision for your business. I'm not here to hard sell you. You know, we've got a coaching team of 3. At the end of the day, we can't take everybody, but those that are in alignment and want the results of the things that we discuss, let's lock arms, let's run hard, and, you know, let's change your life and your business along with it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, that's all we have for this episode. Keep changing lives. See you in the next one.
All right. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Built to Grow podcast. If you want more help growing your business, join our free Facebook group, Profit Accelerator, helping training gyms grow to $30,000 a month and beyond. We'd love to see you there. Go check out the show notes for the link and keep building something great. And we'll see you in the next episode.